People can say anything they want to with words. In fact, they generally do. They never really exactly say what's on their mind. That's how it is in the social world, because if you said what was exactly on your mind, you would be offending a lot of people. So we don't ever really say exactly what we feel, but our body language does not lie. It's very difficult to lie with your body language. Even the finest actors in the world find it very difficult to lie with their voice because the voice reveals people's feelings. I think about 5% of people actually understand these laws intuitively, and I can't explain why. I don't think it's genetic. It's just there's something to it where they understand, for instance, always say less than necessary, law number 4. They understand that if they talk less, they're not going to say something stupid, and people are going to look at them as if, they have an aura of mystery and they're powerful. They know that. They don't need to read Robert's book. They understand it's in their DNA. And they're people who generally get very far in life, okay? And they can often be a little bit more amoral and unethical, than the rest of us. But the majority, the 95% of us, we don't know these things because some of them seem counterintuitive. One law that people have actually criticized me a lot for, I think it's number 10, is infection. Avoid the unlucky and the unfortunate. And they assume that I'm saying just avoid people who've had bad luck or who are victims. And that's not at all what I wrote, and you have to read the chapter to understand. But the idea is sometimes people enter your life and they're all dramatic. And they're very charismatic, and they have all these stories to tell. And usually the stories are about how somebody did something terrible to them. They're the victim, right? There's all this drama surrounding their lives. And it seems kind of interesting, and you become their friend, right? And slowly, you get embroiled in all of their drama. They have arguments with you, they turn against you, then they reconcile, and you find yourself getting infected with their ugly energy, and down and down and down you go. It's counterintuitive to think that somebody who's super dramatic is actually masking, they're creating the drama that is surrounding them. We don't think that way, and I'm trying to show that you have to be a little bit wary about people. You can't just take them at face value. Prior to writing the 48 Laws of Power, I was not a successful person, I have to admit. I had at least 50, 60 different jobs. My wife and I once counted, and we went back, and I think there's even more that I forgot. And I had so many bad bosses, so many people who were so political, so stupid, so incompetent, not all of them, of course, that I had all of this material, right? I had stored up all of these stories in my blood about these people who were so manipulative. And I had studied them, and I had the pain inside of me of having made these mistakes. So the book is a combination of my own kind of personal pain about the work world. It's not all bad, there were some great things too. My own personal pain and this deep level of research. So if I found a story from 3,000 years ago from ancient China that revealed something about one of the laws, and I saw something in the 1970s, I go, well, there's something very true, very real about it. There's something deep in human nature that confirms this particular law. But I don't think all of them are. I don't think everybody who's really good at power and has a good feel for it has these dark qualities. It's a mix of things. But Sam Vakman admitted that he was an incredible narcissist, a very dangerous, dark narcissist who manipulated people terribly. And he came to a point where he saw this about himself, and he realized he can't control it. This is who I am, but I'm going to educate everybody about what narcissism is. And he's very brilliant, and his self-analysis is extremely accurate. But the thing is, he's very rare. So people who are like this, they don't think that they're narcissists. They don't think that they're evil. They don't think that what they're doing is manipulative, or they're even operating by laws. These are just things that come naturally to them. So, that makes it easier for them to do the things that they do, right? So not all of us, I don't want to imply that in doing this book, you're going to turn into a narcissist. You're going to have these very dark qualities. It's just that you want to be aware of them. So these other people, they're not aware that they're behaving this way. I don't want you to crush your enemy totally. I want you to be aware that that happens in business all the time and not be naive with your company that you've, as an entrepreneur, this business that you created. At this very moment, there are vultures circling around who are going to buy your business out and crush you, because that's how business works, right? It's a merciless environment. I don't want you to be like that. I want you to be aware of it. I want you to be aware that there are people like that out there. That is sort of the point of the book. If you're alienating everybody, if you're crushing all of these people, if you're just having lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, there'll be a bounce back effect where you won't have many allies next time you're in trouble, right? Yeah. People will resent you. You'll have more enemies on the horizon. And when you slip up in this media crazy era, all those enemies will suddenly come out of the woodwork, and they'll be on social media, and the mobs will come after you and you'll suffer for it. So there's an aspect of power where you have to play the soft game, where you have to please as many people as possible, make allies, make them think that they're doing what they want, but in fact they're doing what you want, which is the art of seduction itself. It's not a book about being aggressive and violent and pushing people around. It's the opposite. It's giving the impression that you're a nice, generous person, but that somehow you get people to kind of do what you want through being clever. The most important skill that you can have in the work world, in the business world, and in life is knowing how to observe people and not be so wrapped up in yourself and be outer directed. So when you're in a situation like you've entered a job for the first time, your tendency is to be all insecure and think, did I say the wrong thing? Am I dressing correctly? Am I fitting in? And you're not observing, you're thinking about yourself. And the whole game is to be observing. It's like you're observing the world, the different games that are going on, what people are doing, what they're like, what their tastes are like, what the boss is like. There are all these levels of power going on. You want to get outside of yourself and simply observe, right? And not be thinking about yourself as much. And if you become a really good observer of people, which is something that I developed over all of these different jobs that I had. I wasn't necessarily the best person figuring out the game, but I was very observant about people and their nature and their flaws and such. If you become an astute observer of the people around you, you will have the game will be much easier to manage, right? You will know this is a person who is insecure. I cannot offend them. I cannot say the wrong thing to them. This is a person who's strong and secure. I want to be with them. I want them to mentor me. They can, you want to be able to take criticism from other people. In other words, be less insecure and be more kind of outer motivated and paying attention to the people around you. Everything is a sign. Everything people do is a sign. So if they're showing up late at meetings or they're not returning your phone calls, it's not some innocent event. It means something. It's coming from some place within them. They're telling you something about themselves indirectly. If their desk is a mess, right, they can't organize their desk, it's a sign of something else going on inside them. Sometimes when I read an email, I can sense that there's a little bit of anger as an undertone. You can sense people's tone, not just in what they say, but in how they write something, right? There's not this usual kind of polite tone. There's a little bit of a sharpness. There's a word or two that indicates that they're upset, they're angry. Every little thing that people do is a sign. You're not paranoid because it's actually a lot of fun, and you're decoding what's going on because people wear masks. They smile and they say, I love your ideas, Cody, you're brilliant, you're wonderful, but inside they're thinking something else. And you have to be able to pick up all of these signs.
Basically, we tend to talk too much. We're very verbal, chatty creatures, particularly in the world today. And it's not a very powerful way to be. If you're in a position where you have to explain yourself, explain why you did something, explain why your work is better, explain why your idea is better, you're already in a weak position, right? Because people don't really trust words anymore, right? Because everybody talks. We're inundated with advertisements. It's the era of con men and con women. And so the fact that you can actually demonstrate your idea through an action by making people feel that your idea is superior, by making them feel that you're actually a person of power, that you can make them feel that what you did was the right thing to do and was justified, is much more powerful and effective than blabbing a lot of words, right? And, I give in the 48 Laws of Power in that chapter, I give you dozens of strategies for how you can put that to life. That's the general gist of it. A lot of people get caught in sort of immediate emotional things like, am I getting enough attention on Instagram? How many followers do I have? Am I making as much money as other people? And if you get caught up in your 20s like that, you're going to end up in a kind of a dead end in life. Because really what brings success, ultimate success in life, is kind of realizing something from deep within. You have a purpose. You understand that there's something that you were born to do, something that connects you to your childhood, to your deepest inclinations. And so in your 20s, you're not in a hurry to make money or increase your Instagram followers to a certain number. You're in a position where you're going to learn as many skills as possible. You're going to follow that purpose, and you're going to take your time, and you're going to be calm but intense about that. And then eventually success will come. And when it comes, it's like you're able to then go to the next step because, it's the purpose that guides you, not the money and not the fame. So like after I finished the 48 Laws of Power, I could have gotten all drunk with the success, and I could have like just kind of created the 48 Laws of Power Part 2, etc. But instead I realized, no, my purpose is to continually branch off into other directions, to try new things. It's not the money that interests me. I don't mind the money. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that I'm able to make a good living. But what really drives me is actually fulfilling this deep need within me to express what I believe is what I call my life's task. You're trying so hard to get something, and the effort is actually kind of messing you up, right? It's kind of getting in your way. Like in a seduction setting, if you're so nervous and you just really, really want to please that woman that you want to seduce, and that's all your energy is going into, you're going to give off vibrations that are going to be kind of off-putting. You're trying too hard. Your intention is too obvious. But if you kind of let go, it's more a process of letting go inside of yourself, and not in realizing that by letting go, oftentimes when I'm blocked in my writing, I'm trying too hard. If I take a step back and I relax and I listen to some great music or watch some football and television, suddenly the idea comes to me because I let go of that inner tenseness that kind of envelops you. But you have to learn certain strategies of letting go, and it only comes through experience. When I was writing my war book, maybe 14 years ago, I bought a pool table, and I thought shooting pool will be a great way of relaxing myself, right? And I'll be able to learn some strategy, and I'll become a hustler maybe at the end. And so I played every day, and I got better and better and better. And then when somebody would show up, play against me, suddenly I was just terrible. I completely melted under the pressure. Shots that I could normally make, I was bungling left, right, and center. And it was because I was taking it way too seriously. I was too invested in winning. And then when I learned to kind of let go and relax and kind of enjoy the game and not show off, I was actually performing better. I wasn't performing brilliantly, don't get me wrong. I'm not at the hustler level, but I was actually performing better. So you learn through experience. You learn through writing 7 books, through trying to hustle your way on a pool table and things don't work out, that you have to take a step back sometimes and let go. It's not easy, but you learn this through experience. Whenever you are facing like a project or something that you're creating or building, there's a level of anxiety involved. Like you're not quite sure of what you need to do, and you're anxious for getting the right result. And this kind of tightens you up from within. And what happens with most people is, before you start, really has to do with your creative process, which is extremely important no matter what line of work you're in. So when you start your project or a problem that you're solving, you're generally only thinking of 2 or 3 possibilities. Let's say A, B, or C. And A will be something that you've done a million times before, so you're naturally going to be doing it that. And B might be something that you heard somebody else do or whatever, and maybe you'll try that out. And C is some kind of odd thing that you probably will never try anyway. And so you're going to follow these paths, right? Because you already assume what you think is the answer before you've started. And negative capability is to start with a different mindset is to let go of that certainty, is to allow yourself to have something, to have some mystery, to tell yourself, I don't know the answer. I don't know exactly what the right path is to follow. In fact, I'm a bit flummoxed by it. And so instead of trying A, B, or C, maybe I should also think of D and E and F. Maybe I should look into what other people have done. Maybe I should look into what my enemy, the person I hate the most, has done in this situation. Maybe I should entertain ideas that I normally would never entertain. And so the ability to keep a sense of openness while also feeling a little bit anxious about the answer is the essence of negative capability. So you're not in a rush to get an answer. You're open to all kinds of different possibilities.